Hello. Sorry for stopping the music. I'm not a good DJ. Stop it on the wrong beat.
Disappointed.
Hello and welcome to Typeform Office Hours June edition. It's already the end of June. I am Nicolas, developer advocate at Typeform, and today I'm joined by Liz and James. How are you, folks?
I'm well, thank you, Nico. It's a holiday here in Barcelona, so just taking time out of my non-office hours to join the office hours.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Could you enlighten us with what's going on in Barcelona right now? What is the holiday that's celebrated?
Well, today is a bit of a kind of a lull period because yesterday evening was the big celebration of the Festival of San Juan, which is the patron saint of Catalonia, I want to say. And basically the celebration involves kind of people going out onto the streets and down to the beach and throwing fireworks at each other and bangers and just making a hell of a lot of noise. And that goes on till about, 4 in the morning. So a few kind of sore heads and headaches around town today.
You had a short night.
Yeah, quite a short night, yeah. But good to be here.
Awesome. Liz, how are you doing?
Good. It's weird to think that summer is like a third of the way over. I was just thinking that I'm like, oh wow, today's the 24th. I don't know where it went. Yeah.
We didn't get to enjoy it yet. And I'm in San Francisco, and if I look at the window, it's foggy, so summer is definitely not here, but it was a bit here last week. Well, this is very cool. So thanks for joining us. We are live on YouTube, on Twitch, and on LinkedIn. Now we're like all over the place. So please leave us some comments. We're gonna see them and we can react. I see we already have John over here. Our favorite John, part of the community. He's already up early in the morning. Hi, John. So we're gonna go through different agenda. Like we have a lot of things to cover this month. What should we start with?
I say Google Analytics, but that's just me because I like Google Analytics.
All right, sure. Okay, so what's going on with Google Analytics this month? What are the new things?
We're tracking a few more things more specifically, finally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have like a resource that we can look at, or something that we can share so everybody can look at it?
Let me grab the link to it. It's exciting because before it was, it was fine then integration, but now it's a little bit more specific, tracks a little bit more. I'm pretty sure our Help Center article is updated, but I just want to double check before I send it over.
Yeah, so Google Analytics is a native integration that you have on your form. So you add this to your form, and now every time someone submits the form, then it's tracked directly into your analytics, right? So there's no like back and forth. There's no like we do this natively for you. That helps you track conversions, especially if you do paid ads. I think this is quite important. So you're running ads. The end of the funnel is to fill up the form, and you want to see how it converts, right? So that's the whole purpose of this this integration. And so we just added some new updates, making sure that it works in more cases. And let me show that to you. And so here you will see all the different details on how to add Google Analytics to your form. I think it's just as simple as providing the ID of your tracking. I remember this is like the name of it is a bit different. And you will find this under the Connect panel. This is where you find all the integrations, by the way. And then you can decide, I think, what's going on and what is the type of things that you want to behavior that you want to track. And I think we're going to track the conversion. So it's mostly when people submit the form, right?
saves a lot of time. Because it was kind of, I feel like it was difficult before to track conversions, and now it's a lot easier without having to add extra code or do other things with like Google Tag Manager if people are using that to track conversions.
Yeah, and I think the thing that is new is the drop-off. I feel that I haven't seen that before. So we're providing you quite a basic tool to track in Typeform the drop-off. So like, where did people stop? What are the questions where they stopped? So that gives you some feedback on maybe there's too many questions. Maybe this question is a deal breaker and people have to come back, have to think about it. Maybe I should rephrase that question. Now you can do this also in Google Analytics. So you will know probably better which type of people stop at which question, right? Awesome. So we hope you get to use it. Let us know what you do with it. Let us know if you have any question. Reach out on the community forum, and happy to look at this together. All right. So that's like one tick in the list of all the different things we want to talk about. What are the other things you have in mind, James? What are you excited about this month?
Oh, so much, Nico. Can we start thinking and talking about the chat feature? There's been a few updates to that. I don't know if you saw. We did a webinar last week. Yeah, last week with Jackie, who is the product manager of the chat functionality within Typeform. So that's there on the community to watch, and she goes into kind of a lot more depth on what chat is and what the new features are. But essentially, it's like a chat builder that you can kind of create your own kind of chat bots through a Typeform, as you can see here. So did you want to go through the new features, Nico, or do you want me to talk through it?
Go for it. I will just be pointing and clicking on the screen.
Okay, I will direct you. So you can see the embed options there on the left-hand side. So essentially, what you can do now is have a lot more kind of customization over how the chatbots look. So, for example, you can now, if you go to the design section there, you can have a greeting message. So you can kind of put your own CTA there that will appear there, kind of customized, and it gives you a chance to kind of personalize things and kind of play around, see what works, see what kind of converts and what doesn't. Yeah, and
let me put a nice picture.
Yeah, this is the other thing. You can now have your own avatar, which is cool.
Boom.
There he is. And you can change the color, and you can change the icon as well.
So the avatar is like when you're engaging with the chat, this is the Typeform side. When the bot sends you the messages, this is the avatar. So it turns to something that's more personal.
Yeah, that's right. And the custom icon is the actual kind of
this.
Yeah, that part. Exactly.
Okay. Awesome.
And another thing, the notification dot, that's another kind of addition. Obviously, kind of UX researchers out there will know that the kind of that little dot or bubble, it's sometimes called, is a very kind of powerful way of getting someone to interact with an interface element, because it makes you kind of feel like you need to click it, otherwise you're missing out on something. So this basically appears when someone hasn't interacted with the chat bot, the chat element. And as you can see there, you can customize how long that kind of notification dot appears for, which is, I think it's really cool. I think it gives it a kind of a, let's say, more professional feel, but also it's very inviting, and kind of you can make it kind of quite tantalizing for
it's a small nudge.
User.
It's a small nudge to get people to be like, there's something I should check out, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think I think it's fantastic, and I haven't played around with this enough, the chat feature, but I know that there are a huge number of different like kind of use cases and applications for this. Obviously, kind of for feedback and things, but also for kind of website navigation. You know, kind of like prompting people to move through your website and kind of educating them. You can kind of set up redirect on submit, so you can kind of say, oh, what you're looking for. I'm looking for, I don't know, advice about parrot care, and then you would click through and it would take you through to the parrot care products section.
So it could be the first step of a triage on a support ticket thing where yeah, you're guided through what you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously for a lead capture, kind of very kind of simple, basic, you can have kind of qualified leads kind of captured through this chat, you know, kind of find out what people are interested in, take their details, and yeah, it's a really sort of simple way to collect data.
That's really cool. And so yeah, as you mentioned, like we have a few options for you to play with and to customize. Really, so the one I like is the typing emulation. I don't know if I have on this one. I don't think I have a question that will simulate. It's for the. I do have that. It's for the bot to pretend that it's typing, right? So when you do this, that's the typing emulation. The 3 dots to pretend that someone is on the other side and typing.
Makes it feel a little less like a bot.
Yeah, exactly. That's really cool, and it's well connected because last week we had our hack together, so our live coding show, and we were with Mathieu who built the embed functionality for chat and for regular Typeform. And so if any of the things that you see here is not enough for you to customize and you're looking to do something more dynamic, this is also available in the embedded SDK. So for you that feel a bit more adventurous and that want to get your hands dirty in the code, that's also a possibility for customization.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, I think you can now apply the behavioral triggers that are in the Typeform embeds to chats as well. So you can have it kind of, I think it's like it's time based, like based on scroll or when the page loads. You know, I think all those options are now available for chat as well as the standard kind of pop-up embed.
Yeah, that's very cool. So yeah, I hope people get to use it and discover what you can do with chat. We had a lot of questions about the chat. I think we have a question, and we need to probably try this out from John regarding the phone number prefix. So I remember there was an issue when people were asking a phone number question in the chat. Do you know if this has been solved? Do we want to look at it together?
So I was just looking it up. I don't think they have solved it yet, from what I can understand. But I know it's something they're aware of. So that's not a very specific answer, but that's what I know.
Okay. We're working on it. This is. I mean, you see the investment that's happening here, so you know that there is a team looking at it. Awesome. Thanks, James, for sharing this awesome news. Exciting time. So if you want to look at this is under the share panel, and you can start in chat. All right. So I'm sure there's more bits of news, more exciting stuff.
Well, John in the chat has hinted at one. He's just commented new sidebar, and I know he's very excited about this, and I am as well. So this is like maybe 2 months ago we redesigned. I had nothing to do with it, but the Typeform product team redesigned the builder interface. Kind of gave it a new look, made it kind of easier to get around and kind of nicer to look at. And it's had another tweak this week, which everyone should now see in their workspaces. And the reason John says new sidebar is because what's happened is we've kind of split the sidebars in two. So we used to have that sidebar on the left-hand side, and only that. And to kind of access question settings, you would have to kind of dig in to the block. So the kind of the question settings were hidden a bit within the block settings, but now, as you can see there on the right-hand side, everything's really like super exposed and easy to see. So whichever question you are, kind of like contextually, you will have the settings there you see on the right-hand side. So the settings that you have vary depending on what's possible based on the question type. But it just makes things like really super simple to see. And the product team, we had, again, we've got a really good post up on the community this week from Lena, who is the product manager of the team that kind of did this redesign. And they did a whole bunch of research. They took on board lots of feedback from customers on that previous redesign. Did a lot of kind of experiments and stuff as well, like they like to do, and realized that folks were finding it a bit difficult to kind of get into the settings and to kind of discover what you can do there. And what they found is that people prefer to have kind of a separate sidebar for settings, and then a separate one for kind of navigating the question types there, and kind of viewing all of the questions in one sidebar. So yeah, they've made these changes, and I think it looks great. And as well, if you go to the design, so you have the question settings, then you have design settings there. So if you were on, yeah, exactly, you can kind of apply themes, and you have like the layout options as well. So
I have the theme that updates as I'm looking at it. That's really
cool, right?
So much easier.
Yeah, it's just
yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, for me, I really like the fact that we shipped this 2 months ago, and we're already making changes to it because we saw it was a big push. It was a big change already. So we shift a lot of minds, and every time we have a big release version, it's also like we're losing people on the way in terms of like getting used to it again. But this is a good thing. Like, I know it was confusing when you were hovering. I was trying to look at an old version to see if I could show you how it was before, but I don't have it anymore, where you were hovering to see just the settings of the question and then the settings of the layout. Like you don't have to do this gymnastics anymore. Like, this is in front of you. You can decide this.
Yeah, exactly. And with the logic as well, like you say there, the logic, you can, if you had the logic jump in there, you can kind of just flick straight to that and straight back. It's really nice.
I'll say for me, the biggest thing is the comeback of the icons.
Yes. I miss them.
Yeah, I'm sure that happened to many users when you were looking at your form and it was a lot of the same screen. You wouldn't know which question was which, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, I think that's also another nice kind of welcome return, let's say. It does make it easier. So yeah, I mean, if anyone has any kind of feedback, let us know in the community. We'd love to kind of, like as you say, I mean, the product team are very kind of receptive to advice and really kind of keen to iterate. So yeah, I think it's fantastic, and long may we continue developing it. I think one of the things that Lena pointed out in her post on the community is now that they've made this change, it makes it more scalable, so we can introduce new features more easily thanks to this kind of design. So hopefully soon, within the next few weeks, we'll have some more kind of little treats to announce appearing in that sidebar or alongside it or wherever. But basically, now it allows the development team more flexibility in terms of kind of introducing new stuff, which is great.
Yeah, and then when we say research, I think there were a few users that had access to it, and we basically studied their behavior and see if they were doing stuff better. And this is how we release features as well. Is like If you see something has changed, you might be part of a small group that has access to this feature, and eventually what you do is it will tell us if it's something that we should deploy to others. But now this is available to everyone, right? Awesome.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, as of this week. And I think you should get a little prompt as well that when you log into your account, a little maybe it only comes up.
Maybe I already clicked on it. Yeah, there's
you
something
already
that
clicked.
appears.
Yeah, you spoiled it. Yeah, exactly. There's a little thing that appears there, and if you click it, it takes you to a template where you can see the new interface, so you can kind of demo it straight out of there.
Yeah, but the best is probably just to get yourself into it and discover what's new, and hopefully it will feel more familiar to you, and you won't be lost in all the different options that are possible. It's also the challenge is like we want you to have a lot of control, and so it's hard to fit everything in one screen. But this is definitely better.
It's a lot less clicking. That's for sure.
So this is a big piece of news, I'll say. I was looking to see what are the stuff we had in our mind. Couldn't find the list.
We have some questions in the chat, if that helps.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Flash comments.
Yes. Let me show something. Is it here? Yes. So we have a comment from. I'm going to try to replicate this. Is it? Oh, maybe I don't have it. So this was mentioning the left nav indicator to go back to the workspace. I feel I saw it, but I don't see it anymore. So on the top, it was confusing when you were clicking, and sometimes you were getting redirected back to your workspace.
Yeah.
Actually, this is it. It used to be just an arrow, and so you were clicking on this, and it was like, oh, that will bring me back to where I was coming from. And so if you were in Connect, you were thinking that you were going back to Create eventually, and now you have the name of your workspace that's more permanent, and so you know where you're going when you click on it.
I hadn't noticed that.
Yeah, you have to be an expert as John to find it.
Sorry,
Spending hours on Typeform to find it. Yeah, we have another question on YouTube from Logical Indian. Does Typeform has timer for each question in quiz and random shuffle of questions? Who wants to take that?
That we do not. I do not know though if that is something in the works. I don't know if you know that, Nico, but I know it's not something we currently have.
Yeah, someone else has asked this recently in the community. So currently we don't have this built in. So if you wanted to say that your respondents only have 10 minutes to answer all the questions that you have on your form, this is currently not possible. The workaround that I found is to actually embed your form. So if you embed your form on a page, and I think I posted the code over there. I'll find the community post about this. You will embed the form on a page, and you will start the timer when the form is embedded. People will fill up the form, and then after this 5 minutes, you decide how much time they have. Then we hide the form, and if they haven't submitted, they haven't submitted. It's strong. I mean, it's it's quite intense, right? If you didn't get to submit, we'll just hide it from you. But
dramatic exit.
Exactly, that's one workaround right now.
The workaround's nice too, because even if someone's not using Typeform, if they want to just like hide a random thing on a web page, it's applicable. I feel like a little bit to that too.
Yes, and so this is the topic we have on the community about timer for quiz, and so we have a bunch of different suggestions. And here I left an example that shows you exactly what it does. And so, yeah, if you start the timer, you see the form. And right now it's 5 minutes, so we can wait here, waiting for 5 minutes. But I promise it will disappear if you don't do it on time. So this is one way of doing this. But it's something that people ask often. So eventually we'll be looking at this and implementing this in the product, maybe. We see a lot of use cases for people that do trainings, people that do school quizzes, this type of forms. And the other part of the question was regarding random shuffle of questions. So my understanding is like you have some questions in your form, and you just want to shuffle the way they are asked, so it's not always the same question that's asked first.
Not possible as far as I know, right? Unless you know of a workaround, either of you.
It's a question we get all.
Hear Nico's brain working. Yeah, I'm sure you can think of one.
No, it's generating code already in his head.
Yeah, exactly.
If I can post a GIF, you will see the guy having all the equations. No, so it's something that we get asked often as well. A lot of people want to do this, and I think it's the similar use case of education and randomizing the quiz. So you can't share responses and be like, oh, response to the first one is that number, response to the second one is that number, like kids will do in class. But the one workaround for this is not quite random, but is having different paths, right? And so I think we explained this in somewhere in the community as well already. The idea is that you will assign a number to someone taking the quiz, pass this number as a hidden field, and then they will have different scenarios. And so then you will have different logic jump. So you go to the beginning of the screen and you'll be like, okay, which scenario are you having? You have scenario 1 or 2? Then we'll show you this question first. And then when they answer this question, we're like, okay, now that what scenario are you in again? And then you do a different pass like this. And so you can have 3, 4, 5 different scenarios, where it's the same question that is just in different order depending on the one they got assigned when they got started. So that would be one way. The other way is to replicate the same questions but in different question groups, and then redirect to one question group or the other question group. But that's a lot of questions in your form, so it might not be ideal. So something to explore through the logic. I think you can get close to a random with enough symbol.
That's really smart. I didn't even think about that. Way to use hidden fields and logic jumps.
Yeah, I think that's probably something we can show one day on how to do this.
Yeah, maybe even we could create a template for it and drop it up somewhere in the community or in the template gallery. I've written it down, so something might happen.
Like I've already worked on it, but
that's already the first step, right?
Yeah.
So we have another.
Yeah.
We have another question in there if we can pull it up. It's from Mal. I think I'm saying it right. Mal Karen.
Go for it.
Will Typeform ever provide data analysis tools like bar graphs, circle graphs, etc., much like SurveyMonkey does? Well, we kind of have some of that. Or well, not. I guess you could call it bar graphs. I'm really bad with data names, but we have the report right now, which is kind of a handy, easy go-to solution. But there's also the workaround we have with Data Studio from Norden's post in the community as well.
Yeah, I think there are two parts of this question. Is like, do you want something that is shared and that it's available to other people in the team, or is more something just for yourself? Because we have those two options. And as you talking about it, I'm trying to put it up. But please explain the different possibilities we have.
Yes. So in the reports in Typeform, it will basically aggregate all of the data that's been submitted to the form and put it in like nice little bar graphs. Unless it's open comments, then it'll show the comments. If you kind of want something more specific, like if you want, like circle graphs or other types of formats for displaying the data. We have a really good workaround in the community. I forget the name of the post, but I'll find it and put it in the comments here using Google Data Studio too. So.
Okay. And I think Milker added some more details that they want to report that they can download. So we can look at this.
And you can.
Yes. And you see, here's the box that James was mentioning earlier. So this is you nudge on discovering the new builder when you log into your Typeform account. So if we go into the analysis options that we have on your results, I have a form here for, it's mostly a test form, but it has a lot of responses to sign up for a birthday party. And so I have the options to just go one by one and like look at each individual answer. But under Insights, this is where I have the main stats about my form. So how many people have viewed it, how many people have submitted it, how many people have started, the time it takes to answer it. See, my users are quite fast, 26 seconds. That's quite fast. And as well, the drop-off analysis. But when you want to look at analyzing your form responses in more detail, it's under the summary. And here you see that I have a bunch of questions that are very open. So what is your name? There's not much analysis we can do on what is your name. But here it's a question of like, oh, are you coming or not? And so we have some visualization to showcase the different responses and the distribution of things. I think I mostly have multiple choice questions. So that's how it looks like. And so this is only available to you as the owner of the form. You have access to this. But if you want to build something that you can print and you can share with the team, here you have the report functionality. And so the report functionality is a way for you to make those questions look good, create a report, and let everybody play with it and like have access to it. So now that's generated a URL, and I can share this URL, and everybody will have access to it. And so this is now like looking good and looking beautiful. And you can decide which question you show, which question you don't want to see in the report, as well as personalizing the look and feel.
John is also saying that you don't have to use Google Data Studio either. Like, for example, if you want more advanced options that we don't have, he's used like Google Sheets and embedded in Google Slides, which is also a good idea, especially if you've got like a simple little form.
Yeah, that's a good advice. In general, I will say that this is what we recommend is also like dump everything into a spreadsheet and do all the analysis there, especially if you want some other type of graph that we may not have. We don't have pie graph, I think, right now, for example. It's mostly like this type of bar graph. Right.
Yeah, and I can recommend the Google Data Studio article that Norden put together, that tutorial, because that really is a very kind of comprehensive way of kind of creating graphs and charts and really having that kind of customization there. So maybe we can get a link to that in the
I added it.
The chat. Oh, perfect.
Or I think I did.
So yes, let me add this. You added it to our private chat. Let me send the link in the YouTube comments. All right, so now this should be sent all over, and you can play with this. Awesome. So let's go back to the news and the new things. I think there is one last beat that we haven't talked about. Could that be the custom domains?
Yes.
Ooh.
What is it?
Knows?
What is it? Tell us what it is.
So I personally have not tried it out since I have been back, so I may not be the best to answer, but from what I understand, people can finally connect their own subdomains to Typeform, but I could be wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong. I'm still catching up.
Yes, that's right. So you can change the so instead of saying Typeform / whatever, you can have your kind of company name in there. At present, I think it's only for business plan customers, right?
Yes.
But I think it's a very good way of kind of associating Typeform, the Typeform with your brand, and kind of having that kind of more professional URL, let's say.
So
I don't know if we're able to demo it.
Yes, I'm trying to find an account that has access to it, because I feel the account where I am is on a free plan, so it doesn't. Here. Yeah, no, it's a customized link, and I have to upgrade. So let me get you an account that has access to it. And do you think this is released for everyone yet, or?
I believe so, but don't quote me on it. Is it, Liz?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay. Worst case, we're just showing you a preview of something that's really cool and we get excited about, which is fine. So it's coming soon. All right, let's see. This account, my workspace, my form. Customize link. Yes. All right. So let me show you how it works. So you have your beautiful form here, and if you publish it, you will see in the URL that it's here. It's your username, your alias on Typeform. So this one is like developerplatform.typeform.com. This was already something you can customize. So if you wanted to change it to my awesome company, if you want to change it Nico, like you can change it if the subdomain is available. That really, it's unique around the whole Typeform users. So hopefully no one else is squatting your favorite name. But the thing that you couldn't change was this bit at the end, the really random string of characters. And I think this is not what we let you customize, right? So let's check this out. So we are going to the share panel here. We have a new option called Customize Link. And this is what you see when you try to update the meta tag. So if you want to change the way your form previews when it's shared on social media, this is where you go. But now there's a new option here for custom links. And so instead of being like this /whatever, we can make it my awesome form. All right. And so that means if I go here and I do my awesome form, I should see the same typeform. Woohoo!
We need the little clap emojis for this.
Yeah, I need like confettis or some stuff.
Little unicorns.
But so instead of making it look like gibberish, instead of making it look something like that will confuse some people, here you can customize it. So if you had, my form is just a stupid form here, but if you had something that will be contact us, you can really do this. So you can have one form for contact, one form for contact us, one form for support, and like this you have rememberable links, something that you can share and you'll be like, have it on top of your mind and be like, oh yeah, the link for contact us is whatever this link, and we can remember it. Whereas before it was like, oh, I have to go to my Typeform, check what is the link for this specific form, and like the IDs were confusing. And the part that could be also interesting, I think, is that you can swap forms, right? I want to try this. I don't know if that was the purpose of this feature, but I want to try this. So here is one form that we have. Let's just name it contact us 1. And I'm like, hey, would you like this? Would you like? Okay, let's publish this form, and then I'm going to create another form here. That I should probably copy. And I will limit contact us to, so like you're making iteration, right, on your form, and you realize maybe I should probably ask for how you want me to call you. Like this is probably better for a contact form, right? And so if I publish this has an ID, but I want to use the contact us URL. So what I could do is swap. So right now this goes to my first form, right? and I just want to keep that so I don't have to update any link on the website, and I want to redirect this to the new form. And so I think what I can do is I go back to the first form. I'll go customize link. I will just get rid of it. And then I can go to the second form. No, it's not on connect. It's on share. And I can customize this link here and say contact us. And now if I refresh, I should see the second form. Aha! Confetti! So I think this is a good way for you if you're sharing a link to your form. The good thing about those links is like you can swap whatever it's underneath and whatever form is underneath. Before, if you were sharing one form, it was this ID, and this ID was unique across form. And so if you wanted to switch between different versions, then you will have to update your website. You will have to change the link on your contact page. Now you can just swap stuff.
That's very handy.
Very cool indeed. John is asking what plan is it available on? I've just checked, and it's available on tier 2 plan, so plus plan and upwards.
Yeah, thank you for the question, and thanks for checking this out. Yeah, so we want to see what Shabila was this, and we want to see. I mean, I think this use case that I just thought about, but I think that's really convenient.
It's handy, especially if you do have different iterations, like you were saying, but you don't want to change out all the questions or get rid of the data. It's a lot easier to switch it out.
Yeah. Any other stuff that you think we should talk about that has been released after? There are a lot of minor changes that you haven't seen. There are a lot of different things that are behind the scene, but maybe you want to highlight something in particular.
Well, we do have the new pricing plan. So for new customers now have basically a new set of plans than what we had kind of before the start of this year. And just wanted to highlight that on the community this week, we put up a post, and I'll get you the link. So Marta from our support team did an amazing kind of video guide to the differences between the old plans and the new plans. So you can kind of get because essentially like if you're an existing customer, your plan doesn't change, nothing changes, you pay the same price, etc. But if you want to downgrade or upgrade, you will need a new plan, or if you kind of cancel and come back, you'll be on the new plan. So the kind of let's say the features and functionalities of each plan have changed slightly between plans. And for example, now in the free plan, this is the one, yeah. In the free plan, you can use any feature. So like logic and hidden fields and stuff is now available. You can publish forms with logic and all the advanced features, which is really, really great. Whereas you couldn't before. But on the flip side, there are kind of changes in the response limits and number of type forms and things like that. So this is a really, really good guide to that, to anyone who's kind of thinking, or an existing customer who's maybe thinking about changing plans and trying to work out which is the best one for your needs based on what you want to do and what you're doing. So yeah, it's fantastic. So you have those kind of charts there, and then in each of those little videos, Marta basically walks through the differences between the plans, like what you get in them, what integrations are available. Like for example, I think the Google Analytics integration that we mentioned is now in the I don't want to get this wrong, the second plan, which is the basic one, and upwards. But yeah, all the information is there. So again, if we can kind of share that link, I think can be helpful for folks.
Yeah, I mean, like this, you can make an informed decision when you search your plan. I know it's always confusing when a company announces new pricing plan and you you've been a customer for a while, like you don't know where you are. Maybe I think if you have any question, you should jump definitely on the community forum or contact our support channel, and we can answer any of the questions that you may have. But I think the main goal on this pricing change was definitely giving more features to the free plan, where people felt limited, that they couldn't really experience was the whole Typeform experience, which was around the hidden fields, the logic, the variables, the thing that we all like to use every day. And so for this, they had to pay, and it was quite a big gap between a free plan and a play, because we didn't have any free trial. And so I think right now the free plan is it's closer to what a free trial could be. So you get to test every single feature out there, and you have a limited number of responses, but in the end, that should cover some of the forms that have less usage, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And John, thanks for your comment in the chat about updating the charts with US dollars. That's something else I've written down in my notebook. So
this is happening.
This is actually happening. That's a James guarantee.
I think we need to use that phrase more often.
Yeah.
Reminds me of an ad in the US.
I don't want to commit to too much work.
And this is something at the end of a meeting with James, you'd be like, "Where's your notebook? Show me that you have written it."
We need the James guarantee. Sounds like an infomercial a little bit, but I love it.
That's really cool. I think in terms of announcements of things that has happened recently in the product, we might be covered. I can mention a few things regarding the Notion integration that.
Yes.
I forget if it was launched in May already. It's probably already a month since we launched it.
We talked about it, I think, in the last office hours. I think it had just come out. So yeah, end of May.
So the only thing I can mention is like it has some improvements. Because when we launched it, the Notion API, it was in beta, it's still in beta, and so there were things that were a bit funky at the beginning. You can see the few comments on the community forum, but now, yeah. Improvements on the way it works, improvements on how you can load different databases and all those things. We're still missing some features, but we're limited by what it's available to us from the Notion API. So we'll keep iterating on it. Yes, and it's exactly what I'm referring to, John. The file upload right now, this is not available in the Notion API, so there is no way to push a file into a Notion database. But whenever this is available, we'll add it.
Is there anything new and notable that we should know about since the last office hours? I'm trying to think if I know. Well, I think this happened during the last office hours when we found out that you could do more than one form. Yeah, but anything else that we should know about?
No, I think that was mainly the rest is like a lot of the tiny bugs that got resolved, Yeah, and the error messages were not very, so you didn't know why it wasn't working. Now, if you can go inspect and know what is failing, and so that's easier as well for our support team to debug. So we're able to help you out better. No, the big change, I'll say, sorry. The big change is, until very recently, if you were mapping a multiple choice question from Typeform to a multi-select colon on Notion, you would have to define the options exactly the same on both sides, because otherwise it'd be like, oh, this colon doesn't exist, or like this option doesn't exist on Notion, and so it was failing as a whole. They just added a support, so now you can create options. So if you map a multi-select that doesn't exist, if you map the other field, that should work right now.
That's exciting. A lot easier. Yes, John, the orc, goblin, and elf options.
So I think we have about 10 minutes left on the hour that we had scheduled. What is coming in terms of community activities? Where are the next events, the next gathering? I know, James, you've been working on a lot of things.
Yeah, so we have the Workspace Invaders slot, which is an episodic series where we meet people who are doing really cool stuff with Typeform. We speak to them, and they kind of show us what they've done, how they've hooked it up, like in terms of their integrations, what the results have been. Liz spoke to Vicky. I think that was maybe a couple of weeks ago. Since the last time we did this, right?
It was like the second week of June, which feels like a lifetime ago now. So yes.
So yeah, I mean, that was a really interesting case. I mean, Liz, maybe you can kind of go into a bit more detail about. So Vicky is one of our community members, and she's fantastic and helps folks a lot, and is very kind of active and sharing her kind of Typeform expertise. And you spoke to her regarding a movie quiz, right?
Yes. She has kind of like, it's almost like a personality quiz, but she has a quiz that basically uses movie titles to create a story about you and your business and where you're at, which also gave her some really specific information on people that are interested in her services and where they're at. But the email is very fun to receive, and I really enjoyed reading it. It's a very creative take on a lead form, to say the least.
Yeah, so that was fantastic, and we have here, Nico, you've just pulled up a Typeform that we've set up to where folks can kind of share their own stories. So if you want to, if you've done something amazing with Typeform and set up like a cool solution that's giving you great results, then we'd love to hear from you. Get on the blower to you, as we say in the UK, chat to you, and then share your creation with the world, and kind of give you a big shout out. We have a couple coming up. One on a company called SwagUp, who are using Typeform a lot. They basically built their business on Typeform, Wix, and Trello. And we spoke to Michael, who is the founder, about how he kind of hacked together this like no-code solution with those principally those three apps, and kind of built this swag business. So they do like kind of merch for companies to give to their stuff. So that's a really exciting one. That one's coming in hopefully next week, and then we have another one mid-July as well, and I'll keep that one a secret to tease it. But yeah, hopefully more coming soon. And yeah, chatting to there's a webinar on the 5th of August around survey design and writing surveys. Again, I'm going to leave it as a little teaser, but I've been this will be from some external folks who are Typeform users, but they're experts in that field. So I'm just going to leave it there as a little teaser, but I have a feeling that's going to be really, really super valuable in terms of kind of explaining how to write surveys without bias, and how to kind of structure surveys that convert, right, to make sure that people don't drop off. So details on that will be coming on the community very, very soon.
The suspense. I hate surprises.
Oh, sorry, Liz. Well, I'll tell you off there.
Like, I'm like the person that reads the last page of the book first. I'm like, oh.
So if you want to stay updated, I don't think there's any spoil. Like we won't tell you who's the murderer in your book, but
hopefully there won't be any murders on the webinar.
Exactly.
That got very intense. I hope not.
But if you go to the event page on the community forum, this is where you can stay updated with the different events that we're gonna have. Similar to this, they're gonna be probably live, and the Workspace Invaders, I think it's a topic on the forum that pops up whenever it's ready, and you have videos that you can watch whenever you feel like it.
Exactly. Yeah, I was going to ask you actually. Do we have any hack-togethers planned? Have you got something up your sleeve?
Yes, I'm not wearing sleeve, but it's a t-shirt sleeve. It's quite high, but we do have something planned for next week. We're gonna talk with an entrepreneur that has built her business using no code. And she's been doing a lot of stuff with no code. And I want her to show us her tricks and how she built her startup with it. And so it should be accessible. It's a hack together thing, but we're gonna use a lot of no code tools, so it shouldn't be too much code. So you should all be able to follow. And we're gonna announce it probably today or tomorrow. Is gonna be on the website, so you can look at it.
Do we get to know what her business is, or a general idea? Or is this me wanting
more
to know?
suspenses?
Sorry.
I think it's a habit tracker. So checking on your habits.
Okay, that's cool. I'm curious to see what it looks like.
Yes. Yeah. And so again, to stay updated, community.typeform.com. That's this is the best place to hang out and meet other folks. We're 5,000 members on this. That was the big news of the month, I will say as well.
That's true. Yeah, growing fast. It's incredible to think that it was February, was it, or March that we launched, and already we're up to 5,000. It's amazing. Yeah. Long may it continue.
Yeah. So come join us. Come hang out. Ask your different questions. You will meet all of us on the forum. We do those happy hours once a month. So we probably already have the date for the next one. It's probably around the end of July. We'll see who is going to be here because holidays are happening in Spain or all over the world. It should be happening in the summer. Go enjoy the summer. So we'll put the details of up there. This is again new forum to come up with questions, to come up with things that you want us to show, ask, try all together. And any other last words you wanna say, mention?
No, happy San Juan to all our Catalan viewers, including your partner, right, Nicolas? Nico, she's
yes. I don't have it here, but last night we did celebrating San Juan in San Francisco by baking the typical coca de San Juan, which is a really nice fluffy brioche type of thing with some cream on top. Quite nice.
You finished it, I take it.
Yeah, I had a slice for breakfast.
Getting casual sugar coma.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the best way to get the day started. But yeah, stay safe with the fireworks. This is the main thing. Like fireworks are crazy in Barcelona and all over Catalonia right now. But yeah, have fun, and we'll see you in a month, right?
Yeah. Cheers,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.